This is happiness, to be everything at once. Be unblinded, be unlearned, be unbridled and unburned.
Hey everyone, and welcome back to a brand new episode of Mood Prep. My name is Dave Nixon, and today I'm going to read straight from the book that I'm reading. I will read out loud. I'm not just going to sit here in silence while you listen to the silence of me silently reading. I'm going to read a passage from it that I found very interesting. I spoke briefly about this type of concept in my book, Minding Yourself, which apparently the book depository is already sending out. So if you want to get your hands on it before Christmas or as a Christmas gift, if you purchase it now, you'll get it before I get mine, probably, which is pretty interesting. So either way, the book depository, Minding Yourself. But this passage I find extremely interesting. I found it very profound, and he went on to explain it very well. The book is called The Pearl Beyond Price: Integration of Personality into Being, an Object Relations Approach, by A.H. Almaas, A-L-M-A-A-S. So I'm going to read through this, and if stuff comes up for me as I talk through the passage, then I'll share it. Otherwise, I'll recap at the end. But here it goes. One is merely a witness, a silent and unchanging witness. The witness is a pure emptiness, which is at the same time awareness. So the impersonal aspect turns out to be an impersonal witness. In India, this aspect is called the silent Brahman. The silence is so complete that it is eerie. One feels one is absolutely this ultimate but singularly aware void. Here the perception unfolds of how one is beyond the personal. One individual speaking from this state relates. I am not the body, not the personality, not the mind, not the essence, not even God. I am nothing that is a content of experience or awareness. But all experience happens within me. Everything at all levels, from the physical to the spiritual, all happens within me. I see the personal life as a drama that I am not involved in. It is like a movie that has a beginning and an end. But I am untouched and untouchable by any of it. I am beyond anything and everything, the person and his whole universe. I am the beyond, absolutely transcendent. I am a silent witness that contains all there is. I am unchanging. I am the deathless, the unborn, the uncaused. I was never born, will never die. I have no beginning and no end. But all beginnings and all ends are within me. The concepts of life and death do not apply to me. I do not need to be freed or enlightened. I am always free, always have been, and always will be free. I see life and death as nothing but a process of constant transformation happening within me. All existence, from the lowest to the highest, is always in a state of flux. But I am the unchanging witness, where all transformation and change happen. I am the background against which this flux is seen. I am static, unchanging, unreacting, unresponsive, but singularly and purely aware. I am beyond time and space. I am beyond timelessness and spacelessness. All time is a movement within me. I see it as the movement of the timeless within the immensity that is me. This movement creates time, which is the axis of personal history. But all of personal history, all of time, and all of space is a time-space continuum that is a small and insignificant thing within me. I see mind, the totality of it, as a small process, like a little storm within me. It is always busy with itself, trying to grasp me, but how can it grasp what transcends it absolutely? Time and mind are not contrary to me, are not a disturbance in my silence. They are little happenings within my vastness. I am beyond, but contain, all time, space, and mind. Now, I understand that there was a lot in that, especially because you came into the book at page 427. So there's a lot that is definitely spoken about that would lead into this as a conversation. The chapter is the impersonal versus the personal. There's a couple of things I'll point at my first recommendation is to go back and listen to it again. Maybe bookmark it, come back to listen to it in a few more months' time, right? But the thing that this is really pointing at when it's talking about impersonal is, and this whole book is pointing at personal essence. Personal essence or impersonal aspects are the ability to realize that we are both a person and not a singular person at the same time. And the ability for us to see how our being and our existence, right, that our consciousness, our awareness, the witness, is able to integrate personality structures as a personal essence. So we're showing up as an extension of the universe within the universe, as our own individual without trying to be an individual. And so this is where a lot of the time, as we move through our own personal unfolding, this is why I'm pointing about, like, there's a lot of benefit to unbecoming the bullshit that we're not. We don't always have to come more, expand more, so to speak. Sometimes it's becoming less that allows us to become more, because we become less of what we think we need to be in order to become who we actually are by unbecoming the bullshit we're not. And so this is the ability for us to continually move through and start to become aware, subtly aware especially, of all of the little bits and pieces that we hold on to, or we integrate as part of our identity because that's who we should be, or we bring the past to now, to the present, and relive it, right? And then that becomes a structure for us and also a personal subjective truth, even though it's not a real objective truth. And subjective truths are valid and fair and important, but it's sort of allowing us to really understand that when we become impersonal to things, we realize that the world is just welding, it's universing. There isn't a particular way that the universe is meant to be. We're not meant to be anywhere either, because we're a part of that universe. And so our ability to understand that we are just where we are, and we have the opportunity to unfold where we are right now, is really quite powerful. And this goes past the strive drive, which is just simply a stage structure. It's simply a stage of unfolding for people to really go after and achieve things and go after and win things. And there's absolutely nothing wrong with that. I don't want to devalue that. What I'm pointing at is that the value of you does not hinge on that, right? So this is the conversation that I have numerous times a week around people that want to succeed and go after their goals. It's like, that's obviously on my end, that's recommended. I'm always for setting targets and going after it. The thing that I want to highlight is, are you hinging your worth on your ability to achieve that, right? Are you hinging your happiness? Is there conditions within this? And this is a really difficult conversation for some people, but being subtly aware of the truth and our own subjective truth of the structures in our mind is so powerful, because it allows us to make sense of ourselves. And when we can do that, we start to realize that people make sense of themselves as well. And what that means is that when somebody hurts you, it more often than not is because they themselves are hurting, right? And your pain is yours. And so how can you ensure that you don't have that, so you can understand yourself better, that when somebody actually attempts to hurt you, that you're in control of how you respond to that situation? And so this is where it's like, don't do that. You're not allowed to do that. Now, there are, of course, gray areas within this type of conversation, but for the general, for most of us, it's simply going, we're able to surpass that. And as an individual, we can start to heal. And as a community, as a nation, as a world, we start to heal as well. But it takes time. It's complicated. It is really like multi-systemically complicated. I'm not sure how else to say it. And so the way that we need to look at it is going, well, what is it that I can do for me and in turn for everyone else? And when we have a society that does that, we really move into this healthy space of unfolding, understanding, and respecting. And that in itself is quite beautiful. But on that note, team, I'm done. Thank you very much for tuning in. If you found this podcast beneficial, it would mean the world to me if you'd pass it on to someone else that you think would also find it beneficial. If you haven't already, I mentioned at the start of this, jump on the book depository and grab my book. You can grab it before Christmas. It's called Minding Yourself. If you get it and you get your hands on it, make sure you tag me as well. So jump on Instagram, tag it's Whiskey, Weights, and Wisdom. And yeah, that's me done. I'm out for today. Until tomorrow, team. Peace and pizza. Kick today in the dick. Slay the dragon. I'll see you soon.
To be everything at once. be unblinded, be unlearned, be unbridled and unburned.